playoffs are finally here. Two teams are going to the Super Bowl. But which ones will they be? My name is Benjimon, and today I'm going to be choosing, through this bracket, who I think will be going to the Super Bowl. These are the matchups that will happen. The Kansas City Chiefs are right here. They are the number 1 seed on the AFC. Then we have the Pittsburgh Steelers will face off against the Cleveland Browns. The Tennessee Titans will face off against the Baltimore Ravens, and the Buffalo Bills will face off against the Baltimore Colts. On the NFC, we have the number 1 seed Green Bay Packers, along with and then the matchups underneath that: Seattle Seahawks versus the Los Angeles Rams, the Washington Football Team versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the New Orleans Saints will play the Chicago Bears. Okay, so I'm predicting who's going to win the games. It's going to come down kind of like this, for example. That doesn't mean I'll necessarily, choose that, but that was just as an example. Here are the records for each of the teams. That's the AFC side. You can pause it if you want. Here is the NFC side. So that is... Whoops. Okay, shouldn't have clicked that. But anyway, let's get to it. Alright, so I'm going to start with the AFC side. Steelers versus the Browns. Steelers. That was one. I think the Steelers are going to win. I don't know if they're going to win by a lot, but even though the Browns won the last matchup, the Steelers had a lot of starters out that didn't play. But, and the Browns still barely won, but we'll see. I mean, it wasn't... Browns pulled ahead pretty far in that Week 17 matchup. But it doesn't matter. I just think the Steelers will win this game. Although I wonder how close it'll be. It may be pretty close. Kind of hoping for a good matchup on that end. But Steelers, I believe, will win that game. Next, we have the Titans and the Baltimore Ravens. I think I'm going to choose Baltimore. I think they have the better shot at winning because I feel as though they're more on fire right now, and their defense has been playing a lot better. Although they have had a pretty weak schedule in recent weeks. It could be interesting. I'm still taking Baltimore. Then we have Buffalo and the Colts. Oh, well, that's no contest. I think the Bills will easily win that game, but I could be wrong. So that's the AFC first games. I'm going to move on to the NFC real quick. I'm going to go back and forth between the two conferences. Seahawks versus the Rams. I think the Seahawks will win. I don't think the Rams have what it takes to win it this year. Or if they do win this whole thing, I don't think they'll be able to get past Green Bay. But I think Seahawks will win this one. Washington Football Team versus the Buccaneers. I don't see Washington winning. They are the only team in the playoffs with a losing record right now, and that's thanks to the division. They won their division they're in, but I think the Buccaneers should win this game. Buccaneers are not home for this game. No, because they're a wild card team technically. But Washington will have the home game, but I think Buccaneers will win this game. I don't think that Washington's getting past this. But the Seattle Seahawks, with a losing record several years ago, did win a playoff game against the New Orleans Saints, so who knows what could happen. But now we can move on to the Saints and Bears. I think the Saints will win. The Bears defeated pretty easy teams and were 8-8. Washington has a 7-9 record, and the Bears have an 8-8 record, but they have a worst. They have the worst records of anybody in the playoffs, so I think the Saints are going to win that out. Moving back to the AFC, Kansas City and Pittsburgh. I think I'll take Kansas City to go to the championship. and just because I think their offense will do better. But it is the number one offense, like I think the number one defense. That'll be an interesting matchup if that happens. So I don't know. Usually defense wins championships, but I don't think the Steelers' offense has enough right now. Not with the way they've been playing. So they need to prove me wrong for that. Then we get to Baltimore and Buffalo. I think Buffalo will win. They've done really well in the past few weeks, so we'll see what happens there. And there's your championship, Kansas City and Buffalo. Then we get to uh, yes, okay, these two matchups: Green Bay and Seattle on the NFC, and then Tampa Bay and New Orleans. Um, it is hard to beat a team through. Wait, no, let's go up to Green Bay and Seattle. I'd take Green Bay. Rodgers is having an MVP season, and I think that defensive front is well, just the defense in general is a lot better for Green Bay, and I think Seattle just won't be able to hold off Aaron Rodgers. Um, but we'll see what happens there. And then we get to the Buccaneers and New Orleans. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in one season, but I think the Saints will do it, and that'll be the championship: Green Bay versus New Orleans. I got some tough ones to decide. Okay, Kansas City and Buffalo. Buffalo lost the first game. They lost their regular season game to Kansas City. I think they'll be able to pull it off this time, and I'm putting them in the Super Bowl. It'll probably be a pretty close matchup, though. But I think the Bills' defense is better than the Chiefs, so we'll see what happens. There, Green Bay, New Orleans. I'm picking Green Bay for the Super Bowl. I think they'll easily. Well, I don't think it'll be easy, but I think they'll go this year. They have a pretty good shot at it. And then the last one to decide who wins the Super Bowl. In a close one, I choose Green Bay to win it. Very close. I think both teams are. Honestly, I don't. Just with the way they've been playing, I think the Bills really are the better team over Kansas City with the way they've been playing right now. But I think Green Bay. That's a hard one. I'm still going to choose Green Bay. Bills haven't won any Super Bowls yet. I just think Green Bay will take the cake this time. So there you go. That's what the playoff picture looks like in my mind.